Welcome to InfoHub. In our headlines, Prime Minister Moses Nagamutu resumes duties. Financial investigation and anti-corruption training gets underway. Partnerships for international investors seen as a sign of confidence, and teachers benefit from leadership training. The details and more after this.
Here's an important message from the Ministry of Finance and the Guyana Revenue Authority.
If you've never filed or paid your taxes, or have deliberately not declared your true income, and now you're worried that you'll be audited by the Guyana Revenue Authority, I have good news for you.
The Ministry of Finance has announced a tax amnesty effective January 1 to September 30, 2018.
So you can now pay all your outstanding income, property, corporate, withholding, and capital gains taxes and get right with the GRA. Visit their office or call them at 227-6060, extension 1201 or 1204 today.
Invest in your country. Pay your taxes.
We begin InfoHub with a report that Prime Minister Moses Nagamutu officially resumed duties today following his return home on Thursday last. The Prime Minister, who was warmly welcomed at his office, remarked that he was eager to return to work. Earlier in February, the Prime Minister underwent a successful heart bypass surgery in the U.S., where he subsequently stayed with relatives during the recovery process. In other news, over the next 2 weeks, members of the lead security agencies will undergo intense training in the areas of fraud, anti-corruption and bribery as the first financial investigation and anti-corruption training seminar got underway today. Details from Stacey Carmichael.
The training is funded by the Government of the United Kingdom through the Special Advisor attached to the Special Organised Crime Unit, Dr. Sam Sitlington. British High Commissioner Greg Quinn said there is no place for corruption within the security forces.
Not only is it the right thing to do, but as the funders of this and other training, it is what the British government expects. There is no place for corruption within the security agencies in Guyana. If individuals cannot work with honesty and integrity, then they should be drummed out, prosecuted and imprisoned as necessary.
The High Commissioner reiterated the UK's commitment to assist Guyana in the security sector reform with the hosting of the seminar, building on what has already been accomplished under the British expert on crime and security, Colonel Russell Combe. Colonel Combe will be returning to Guyana sometime this week to serve as Senior Security Sector Reform Advisor to President David Granger. He will serve for 1 year. Since assuming office, the government has been tackling corruption at all levels, and this was highlighted by Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs Basil Williams.
From the outset of our government, we declared war against corruption in all its forms. And financial crimes were added to the remit of SOCU, whose primary responsibility is combating money laundering, terrorist financing, and now proliferation financing. Forensic audits have led to many criminal investigations and charges for fraud, for the stealing or purloining of state assets. But financial crimes investigatory framework requires greater capacity building.
He added that corruption must be exposed and the anti-corruption laws enforced. 14 officers of SOCU, 9 from the Criminal Investigations Department, 2 from the Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit, 1 from the Financial Intelligence Unit, and 4 from the State Assets Recovery Authority will benefit from the training. 2 UK experts are conducting the sessions. Combined, they have over 60 years of experience in handling cases of anti-money laundering and fraud. Minister of Public Security Kemraj Ramjatan and Police Commissioner Acting David Ramnarine were also in attendance. For InfoHub, Stacey Carmichael.
The Ministry of Natural Resources will be moving to develop a portal of information regarding the development of natural resources in Guyana, a system which would be very beneficial to the country. Alexis Rodney tells us more.
At the opening of a 2-day workshop on spatial data infrastructure for Guyana's natural resources sector, Subject Minister Raphael Trotman said that while the objective of the geospatial data management will be good for natural resources, the country will benefit twice as much from a national information system.
What we are about to do is not just about the natural resources and how they are developed or not developed, but we want to see that all information that is pertinent to the nation of Guyana is housed in one unit.
Mexican Ambassador to Guyana, His Excellency Ivan Rivera Sierra Medal, said such a system is meant to support policy making and provide information to bolster the development of the natural resources sector, one of the main drivers of economic growth. As such, Minister Trotman expresses belief that such a system should fall under the purview of the Ministry of Public Telecommunications, headed by Minister Catherine Hughes. Minister Hughes said that Guyana's expanding international profile, partially due to the discovery of oil, has evolved with an increased demand for a greater level of involvement in the digital world.
It is our primary responsibility, through the use of appropriate technology interventions, to enable and to support a whole-of-government approach towards holistic governance of Guyana.
The workshop is being facilitated by Mexico's National Institute for Statistics and Geographical Information. It emerged from a visit to Mexico 3 years ago by Prime Minister Moses Nagamutu and Minister Rafael Trotman. Mexico's Deputy Director General for Natural Resources, Francisco Jimenez Nava, and Aaron Bela Mata, Deputy Director of Geomatic Solutions, will lead the session, which is being held at the Mexican Embassy on Brickdam. For InfoHub, Alexis Rodney.
Mellon National Bank in the United States of America recently partnered with the local Citizens Bank. This move was hailed as a sure sign of investors' confidence in Guyana by State Minister Joseph Harmon, who made these remarks at the opening of Banks DIH's vehicle workshop on Saturday last. Stacey joins us again.
The move by Mellon Bank to establish relations with Citizens Bank is happening at a time when the Financial Action Task Force and the Caribbean Financial Action Task Force are taking steps at curbing and reducing relations between international banks and those in the region.
It's a sure sign that we are doing something that is right. It is this confidence, Mr. Chairman, that has motivated American Airlines to announce the commencement of service from the United States of America to Guyana.
Minister Harmon said the investment by Banks DIH in the establishment of a wastewater treatment plant and a waste plastic treatment facility at a new vehicle workshop is also another sign of its confidence in the investment climate of Guyana.
Guyana is the right place to invest. And I am proud that our private sector is beginning to embrace that reality. I am proud that Banks DIH, as a leading member of the private sector, continues to invest in Guyana.
In recognition that clean and reliable power generation was a critical input to the company's production facilities, co-managing director of Banks DIH, George McDonald, said the company in 2004 embarked on the installation of specialized generation facilities.
While we are generating our own power, we are also actively pursuing the development of alternative energy to reduce the dependency on the use of fossil fuels in the long term as we work to reduce the carbon footprint.
The $110 million vehicle workshop measures 36,000 square feet. According to the co-manager, it made logistical sense for the company to invest since the Thirst Park no longer has adequate space. It was declared officially opened with a ceremonial cutting of the ribbon by Minister Harmon. Minister of Public Infrastructure David Patterson, Chief Executive Officer of the Guyana Power and Light Company Albert Gordon, Chairman of Banks DIH Clifford Rees, and other members of the private sector and diplomatic community were in attendance. For InfoHub, Stacey Carmichael.
The Guyana National Bureau of Standards, GNBS, today launched the World Trade Organization Technical Barrier to Trade Agreement Inquiry Point to enhance local bodies and better trade relations with member states of the WTO. Crystal Stull has the details.
The Technical Barrier to Trade Agreement Inquiry Point is the mechanism used to notify international stakeholders on changes in trade regulations within the World Trade Organization's member states. Minister of Business Dominic Gaskin explained that it also allows for countries to provide feedback on those changes.
It is a useful tool for both local and international stakeholders, but will only serve us if we make full use of it. The importance of information cannot be denied and should not be taken lightly.
It is hoped that the TBT Inquiry Point will be used to increase trade and trade efficiency between Guyana and other countries.
With the best technology, with the best marketing strategy, with the most efficient means of shipping, if our certification procedures and our regulations are not sufficiently enabling, then our businesses will lose out on export opportunities.
Stressing the importance for stakeholders to collaborate with the Guyana National Bureau of Standards for the success of the agreement is Director of the GNBS, Candle Walcott Boswick.
We will from today actively provide our exporters, manufacturers, regulators, and other interested parties who register with us on updates for national, regional, international standards which can affect your business.
In March 2010, the Guyana National Bureau of Standards was designated as a technical barrier to trade agreement inquiry point for Guyana, who was charged with supplying the World Trade Organization and foreign countries with information on compulsory local standards and technical regulations related to products under the TBT agreement. The Bureau is now internationally certified as it has attained its ISO 9001 certificate. Crystal Stahl for InfoHub.
InfoHub's Renetta LaFleur was in Good Hope on the east coast of Demerara to get a glimpse of the rehabilitation works which started on a bridge there. Let's take a look.
I'm at the Good Hope Bridge along the railway embankment where much needed rehabilitation works have begun. Senior engineer at the Ministry of Public Infrastructure, Sherrod Parkinson, explained that the scope of work includes demolition of the old structure and reconstruction of a new one.
When we change from the aquaplaner bridges to the pre-stressed concrete bridges, there is no disruption to traffic, there are no maintenance issues, and everything flows smoothly. We don't expect to have any problems with that bridge in the next, I don't know. I hope to outlive it. I hope it outlives me, in fact.
$23.5 million have been awarded to BK International for repairs to the bridge. It was explained that these works should have been completed last year, along with the Annandale and Lusignan bridges, but there were some challenges.
We thought it best not to run all three of them at the same time because of the same traffic issues. And there were some traffic issues with the construction of the other two. But because they were in an area where there were more access points to leave and re-enter the railway embankment, the traffic burden wasn't really felt that much by the driving public. But because of the location of this bridge, there seems to be a greater impact on traffic.
With government working to ensure infrastructure is being upgraded countrywide, residents of Good Hope have expressed their satisfaction for the improvements thus far.
We're glad for it too, because if it broke down, you can't get no way for go wrong and all these things. So it's okay.
It's very good. It's fair, it's good. And we love that. We welcome that.
The rehabilitation works have commenced last week and are expected to be completed by the end of this month. Renetta LaFleur for InfoHub.
In our final report, an education leadership conference targeting senior teachers and administrators throughout the country was opened today. Senika Thorne has that story.
Some 50 head teachers who are drawn from primary schools across the 10 administrative regions are participating in a leadership conference which is being held at Duke Lodge, Kingston, Georgetown. Education Minister Nicolette Henry explained that the conference supports the high priority that government places on advancing the development of education and added that it sets the pace for much needed change in the education sector today.
We have a great opportunity at this time through this conference for growth, exploration, learning, and development. In order to achieve the best in education, the Ministry of Education recognizes that there must be professional development and capacity building.
During brief remarks, Chief Education Officer Marcel Hudson told the participants that it is compulsory they remain focused and observe the information that is being shared.
And more important, seek to transfer what you will learn to the classroom and to all those who are under your sphere of influence. Let this not just be another workshop. Let us become servants and rise to the occasion of empowering those beautiful minds that await the manifestation of the giftings that are within us.
The conference will provide participants with fundamental information of leadership concepts, theories, and approaches that are frequently used in the delivery of public education in particular. The training session is being facilitated by Head of Leadership in Education Services Limited, Denise Hillman, along with University of Guyana's Vice Chancellor, Professor Ivlock Griffith, and Chief Education Officer Marcel Hudson. Senika Thorne for InfoHub.
Before we wrap up, let's tell you that DPI's auditions for TV and radio presenters will be held on Sunday, April 15 at her office Interested persons 18 years and older are invited to sign up on our website at dpi.gov.gy/auditions. Additionally, the relaunched Action Line is on tonight, so tune in to NCN's Voice of Guyana and all regional radio stations from 21 to 22 hours. Thanks for watching, and remember to connect with us 24/7 on our website and social media. Goodbye.
The taxes we pay provide revenue for the government to use to develop and improve our country's infrastructure and the life of all Guyanese.
If we pay our taxes, the government will be able to build more roads, schools, hospitals, bridges, and other government facilities.
The government will also be able to use those funds to pay better wages and salaries to public servants and to improve government services.
This will help to attract more investors to our country, create jobs, and reduce poverty.
Let's invest in our country. Pay your taxes.
A message from the Ministry of Finance and the Guyana Revenue Authority.